Give me just a moment. Trying to figure out this desktop thing.
Look at that intro. So good.
Does that work? Does that look good for you guys?
Yeah, mastering the basics, all that jazz.
I don't know how to.
Are you gonna need that often?
Probably not.
Okay.
No problem.
I'll remind you it's there if you forget.
I don't know how to make this larger.
What are you working on?
Yes, I guess.
That looks better.
You just gonna keep that up until we start?
Yes.
Okay.
You guys ready to start?
What's up?
You guys ready to start? You let me know, and then I'll say, "Welcome to Mastering the Basics with Steel," and then I will.
Yeah, it's 6:04. When I hit 6:05, we can start it up.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm full.
What do you eat?
Not much, actually. But I had a small snack, and then it filled me up because I had an empty stomach.
Oh.
So I feel bloated.
Got my bloating over with hours ago. We can't eat bagels.
You get your phone muted, right? Sounds good.
I don't even think my phone's in here.
All right, cool. All right, 6:05. We can start up.
Welcome to Mastering the Basics with Steel. Here's your instructor, Steel. Take it away, Steel.
Hey guys, let me get in shot. My name's Steele. This is going to be my assistant today, Seamus, my unit mate, and he'll kind of be the PEL for me, so we can see how all the different strikes will affect it. It's mastering the basics, so we're going to start out slow with very basic moves and movements, and then we will integrate that into how to make that be like the end game. So you can start winning tournaments just with basics. No crazy shots, nothing too much. It's very basic shots and how we can integrate that into some good stuff. All right, so I got my cheat sheet. I'll be coming over here to every once in a while. Okay, so first off, we're gonna go into sword and shield kind of stuff. I got my shield here. We're just gonna talk about the two stances of shield users. First off, you got the A-frame. That's probably the most common you'll see, where they just make it a triangle like this. They'll usually hold it out a little bit farther from their body, kind of like this. That way, if anybody throws a high cross, they're here to block that. If anybody throws at their shoulder, they're here kind of block that. They can pull their A-frame back to guard from this side here, just like that. The other one is a more stagnant style. I don't know what the actual name for that would be, but it's kind of like when you keep your shield up against your body like this. So you'll line up against them and they'll usually look like this. They'll have their sword on their side, the shield in front of them, A-frame, then stagnant. This one can kind of open up some wrap shots, things of that nature, if they keep it stagnant. So those are the two most basic forms. I think we're going to go into Florentine stances real quick. I'll show you guys real quick. Depending on if you're lefty or righty. So I'm a righty. I like to keep my right leg forward so I can open up the wraps over here. If you want to go left leg forward, sorry, you guys can't really see my legs right now. If you go left leg forward, it kind of helps more with if you're fighting against a righty, it gives the inside shot here. So I'll line up over here. So I would keep my left leg forward if I want to kind of reach in on his hip side there. Likewise, if he was a righty, So switch it up, go righty. Oh, I'm sorry, go lefty. It would be different. So I keep my right leg forward, same exact thing. Open up that right there. Because if I'm going lefty here, it's farther for me to get there. Takes me longer to get there. And I mean, my offensive side with my left leg forward, just kind of going into his shield side. It can work. Usually you'll want to like switch between the two depending on movements, but we'll get into that a little bit later. So that's Florentine. Okay, so now we're just going to go into basic shots and basic stabs. And we'll start simple.
Want me to have a sword side facing camera?
Yeah, so for right now, against a righty shieldman, okay, some of the basic shots will be, let me angle this for you guys a little better. You guys out here. The shoulder chop, pretty basic stuff. Got a shoulder chop. You've got, if you didn't have a shield, you'd want to, it's the basic chop to the arm side over there. You've got the wrap shot, very basic. You've got the leg, and you've got the high cross. Very basic shots. Let me switch over here. Yeah, people can see. So the high cross, very basic. Got the wrap shot, got the shoulder chop, got the leg chop. Okay, so those are going to be the basic shots we're going to be focusing on there. Stabs, obviously basic stab, right here. Stab I like to do, there's only really one stab that I like, and it's just drop your hips, stab behind the shield, or if you didn't have a shield, it's the very basic stab. So we'll be integrating those. Let's see here. Against a lefty, so go lefty real quick. The basic shots are going to change a little bit. For instance, the shoulder, you're not really going to want to swing on the same shoulder that I was on the other side. It would be kind of like a high cross shoulder chop. See if we can angle so they can see. Yeah, it'd be more of like right there would be a basic shot. The hip slash and the hip wrap, as well as the leg chop. So we're not focusing too much on crossing the body. A lot of our shots are going to be focusing on whatever side the sword is on. Very little of over here. Okay. And against a Florentine here. There you go. Basic shots against, so we went against righty and lefty. You step forward a little more. Basic shots against Florentine are just going to be
righty.
That doesn't matter too much right now.
Okay.
It's going to be just a stab, just a quick step forward stab, and then arm chops. Very rarely are you going to want to high cross on a Florentine. So you've got the arm chops, maybe inside arm chop. Let's say he's going righty flow. You got the inside arm chop right there, and then you've got the leg shot. So that's what we're going to be focusing on against the Florentine fighters. All right, next up we're going to be focusing on footwork. I'm going to angle this for you guys a little bit here.
Hold it and show your feet.
No, it's okay. This thing is pretty handy dandy. Okay. So there's my wonderful legs. Here, just get on the camera real quick. We're going to be doing 45-degree angles. So if you've got your basic stance, it'd be something like this. Okay, very basic. I've got my back toe kind of pointed at a 45-degree angle outwards, and my front toe kind of facing forward. And they're not too far. You kind of want to keep it shoulder width apart. If you crouch down in your stance, things of that nature. So that's what you're going to be working with there. Now, a lot of the movements, I'll just show you real quick, are going to be 45-degree angles. So bam. If I'm going towards his shield side or his hip side, 45-degree angle to the step back, 45-degree. I can move this way, come right back. If they are very aggressive, you can 45-degree back, 45-degree back. Just very basic movements like that. Very rarely will I go forward into them or backwards. The reason I would never really go backwards is if it's an aggressive opponent, they can run forward quicker than you can run backwards. So you can kind of loop them around with 45-degree and kind of get them going in a circle. Slows their momentum, opens up some shots for you, which we'll get into here in a bit. So that's just basic footwork. Let me fix the camera for you guys. Okay, now another quick basic is sword blocking. This is good for if you are going single blue or sword and shield. I'll show both. So sword blocking, a big component of that is making sure you envision like a triangle. I know that the black, here, can I use your pink one real quick?
Yeah.
The black with the black background isn't great. So you've got, just envision like a triangle per se. So this is gonna be the top of the triangle, and your hand is gonna be kind of like the bottom plane of the triangle, right? So if somebody's going for a shot over here on me, I'm gonna keep this at the point and rotate that way. That way I can come back. I'm not gonna be making a box like this. I'm gonna be blocking like this. So somebody maybe goes for a stab on my inside, block. See, the point stays there, because then that opens up, all your joints are still kind of ready to roll. It kind of gives you like a power up for blocking to countering. So I'm here, block, I can throw in there, just like this. Block, throw in, block the inside to a counter. So that is just the very basics of sword blocking. And I'll kind of do the same with the shield real quick so you can see. Obviously, I'm not really going to be going in here as much, but if somebody wants to go for like a high cross or something, just block out here. Don't even have to worry about my shield. If I want to, I can open it up, but block out here. If I'm going A-frame, I mean, you're kind of already ready for that, so you can kind of block inside for the stab, but it's very, very much the same thing. And I mean, once you're in the moment, you'll get the feeling for it. All right. We're going to do a shield manipulation, just the basics of that real quick. And these are all just going to be small puzzle pieces that will eventually fit into place as we go down the list here. So shield manipulation is, yeah, okay, so shield manipulation, very, very basic. So for instance, I'm going for a basic shot here. It's not going to hit, right? Go for a basic shot here. He's got that blocked. So shield manipulation will kind of open it up for you. It just comes down to timing. So for instance, when I'm swinging here, I can hit his shield. That's going to land. Likewise, there's a good chance of that landing, depending on your height, obviously. If you're a shorter fighter, I wouldn't recommend that one as much. And if you're better with like wrap shots and stuff, obviously you can throw the wrap there, the high wrap there. Basic shield manipulation, we can stand here. There's certain things you can do, like pull their shield away from them, open them up. Just very simple things like that. So that's the basics of shield manipulation. Now we're going to go into kind of a combination. So we're going to take those basics that we learned and put them together and see what we can get. So we're going to start with the basic shots and then work them into the different footwork stances we were working on there. Okay. Let's see. All right. So first off, we'll go against the righty sword and board fighter. Let's switch sides real quick. Just kind of get them a better view for this. Make sure that they can see here. Okay. So if I am, let's start with the first 45-degree angle, right? So I want to step towards his shield side, and we'll go basic shot here. There's nothing. You take the step, 145-degree step this way, and I can see a whole lot more of his body. So let's switch it up. Okay, so nothing. 145-degree step. I can see his ass. I can see his arm. I can see his leg. So if you can kind of get the timing right, you can see a hell of a lot more. So here, come set that a little bit. Let's see. I just want to make sure everybody can see this. So basic shot, not going to hit. 45-degree angle. If you can get that before he gets a chance to move out, I can see a lot here. Okay. Likewise on the other side. And I'll flip the camera. We'll flip around for you guys a little bit. I can't really see anything high cross side over here. If I take a step to this side over here, his sword side, I can get the high cross there. I can see the leg. Maybe I can take the step, take his leg at the exact same time. It opens up a lot more possibilities than just standing in front of the person and trying to get a shot to land. There's so much more we can do here. Okay, now against the lefty. I like fighting lefties with this because, I mean, you already have these real nice shots here, but things you can do, like if I want to step to the sword side, You step in. Obviously, that's a little bit harder to do because you're going to go right into his sword. So against lefties, I like to take less of a 45, and I like to do more of like this. So I like to spread it out a little bit more.
With more off to the side. Than
Yeah, I'm going out to the side a little bit more. So maybe he wants to swing on me. Maybe I see a swing coming. So I can get the block here. I see his entire body right now. I see everything. Likewise, there's this shot up here I was talking about. I mean, the shield manipulation would work really well with that. But if I step here, I mean, very basic chops. And I forgot to explain this earlier, but what I mean by chops, I think chops, are like the lifeblood of fighting for me. It's just basic, right? You can start at your hips, start at your feet, and bam. You can even use your wrist at the end there. I'm not doing too much fancy stuff. I'm just keeping stable because I don't want to get any injuries over time, and just chop. I think the chop is the fastest way from point A to point B. So that's why I like to use them a lot. Let me grab some water real quick. So against the lefty, right? So different things. I mean, if I want to take the 45 into him as well, get into his grill too. He might not have a good opportunity to swing, or he might not like people getting into his A range. So you could get in, leg, 45-degree back out. Let's see if we can get a better angle on that. Okay, you can 45-degree in, leg, jump back out. Over here, there's just so many options. The 45s open up, and vice versa. You can do a quick back 45 step. Like let's say he wants to swing on me. I'd rather dodge than block most of the time. And then once he's set in his place, so let's come over here. You take that step on me. I step back. And I can step right back into it as well and kind of open something up on him. Because when he's committed, he's taken that step. Once he sees you step backwards, he's taken that step, and you can kind of get him off balance. You stay light on your feet, bam, you can come right back with whatever you want. I also forgot to mention when I'm in my footwork stance, I've got my back foot and my forward foot. I like to keep about 65, 70% of the weight on my back foot, and maybe like 35, 40% on my front foot. That way I can kind of if somebody goes for a leg shot, I can just pull that front foot back. I can power off this one, step this way. If I need to, I can shift onto my front foot, power this way, just things like that. Don't ever just be sitting there, right? Make sure that it's on your back foot, and you can just kind of float around. So that's that. Now we're going to talk about those same 45-degree angles with the basic shots against a Florentine fighter.
Neil?
Yeah.
If you can hear me, just a moment before you get into the next topic. I have a question about your 45-degree stepping. When stepping in a 45-degree angle to get those wraps, how do you compensate for the movement of your opponent? Are they going to? I project they're going to move a little bit. Do you overstep a little bit if you can notice that your fighter's doing it? Does that make sense?
Compensate for their movement. Okay, so there's a couple different ways we can go with this. I'll go into both. The first one is you'll start to figure out how to protect or how to predict where your opponent's going to move. And then certain steps will kind of become like a chess match. So for instance, I'll go into one that I've shown people before, right? Except for a little bit more. There's this wrap shot, okay? It's not going to land. But if I know that he likes to kind of mirror me, right? He's one of those fighters that really likes to mirror your movements. And I know this isn't going to land, and I know maybe stepping in here isn't going to land because he's mirroring me at the same time. So what I can do is I can step this way. He mirrors me. Mid that, I'm throwing. So watch. We'll mirror each other here. Mirror. He's walking right into that shot. Vice versa, you can go onto this side, and maybe if he's throwing, or if you can get it nicely, maybe the stab, maybe the stab isn't landing right there. I can step this way so that he opens his guard up and stab. So I'll show you from the other side so we can get a better view of that. Let's say, okay, so let's come a little bit more forward. This ain't landed. Let me get the camera for you guys so we can get a good view of this. Okay, so there's his hip. That's where I'm gonna be stabbing. Okay. Maybe I can't get this right now. Maybe he's got that on lock, right? I take this step this way. He's kind of opened it up. And mid-step, I do the throw. Bam, there it is right there. So you can kind of start to predict their movements. And then the other part of the question was, that didn't completely answer your question. You had another part to that, right? What was that, DM?
So to repeat, when you go to throw it, that like hip scoop on them with that 40-degree step. If my opponent is moving with me, do I step further? Which direction do I step?
I wouldn't step further. I think stepping further is a common mistake people will fall into, and it kind of leaves them off balance. Because now, if I've taken a farther step over here, then I've now put all that weight, 90, 95% of the weight on that foot during the step, and I can't really get out. I can't make any backwards 45s here. I'll move the camera down so I can kind of show you what I'm talking about with the feet there, and you can see. Let me get that down there. Okay, so there's the basic 45, and if I take that wide step, I mean, getting backwards is going to be very difficult. So I take that wide step, all that weight's right here. See, nothing's there. Getting back, you know, it leaves your body and everything way too open for them. What I would do in that case, if he's doing real well at mirroring me and I can't get too much out of that, or he's just stepping back the entire time, I don't know. I would honestly feel him out before you even start swinging and stuff. Just get those small movements in where you know that you're safe, and you can kind of judge what your opponent's movements are going to be when you do different things like that. And if it's a field battle, I mean, get the leg and get out. You know, like stop his movement. But other than that, just it's a process. If he's moving, it means he knows what you're doing, and you just kind of have to kind of work with that and figure that out in the moment,
It's the chess match.
because unless I could see the fight as it is right now, it's hard to give like here's how to beat it. But it is going to be a chess match in that moment. Anybody else have any questions on what we just talked about? We were talking about shield manipulation, footwork, basic shots, and how to incorporate shots with footwork. Anybody have any questions on that? I think we're good. Okay. So now we're going to do the basic footwork meets the basic shots against a Florentine fighter. So if you want to switch sides real quick. It's a little bit different. I know all you guys probably know a good Florentine fighter. They don't have that shield coverage, but they have the opportunity to swing when they probably shouldn't have that opportunity. So basic shots and basic footwork. Remember I was talking about this basic thing here? So if I swing here on him regular, no, you just move your sword out. You get that block there. That's not going to land. Likewise here, that's not going to land. Maybe I can throw some fakes and things like that, but that's going to come a little bit later. So we can do the basic step stab. Now that would work, right? But you're also stepping into his other sword. Against a shieldman, you'd be stepping away from his sword. Against this guy, you're stepping into his sword. So you got to be careful of that. What I like to do, especially, I'm going single sword right now. I'll pick up a shield in a second. Is kind of wait for him to throw, get a lot of those backwards 45s, and then you can get that forward step in. I also really like, let's say you're going lefty. Let's say he's a very aggressive one. He wants to move forward on me. Quick step to the chop here. You can quick step chop the inside of the arms. Inside, outside arms are very good. Let's say I want to get a good view of this for everybody. So let's say you come over here. If I take the step here, right, you guys can see I have arm. I can also swing here. Let's say he's over blocking here. I also got that. So I'm not gonna throw this shot until I know what I want to throw. So I see that happen. You got that. If he doesn't do that right there, I can easily get around that. And the other side, it's pretty much the same thing. You can do this. You get here, get on the inside of the arm. It's very simple stuff. You can get the stab. But against Florentine fighters, it's a lot of retreat, a lot like what you see from fencers and stuff. It's the retreat to the inside cut. Because a lot of Florentine fighters will like to flurry you or aim at very specific parts to get the kill. So that's what you're going to want to focus on there with Florentine fighters. Am I missing anything there?
I don't think so far. Mostly just like Florentine fighters aren't going to stand
Okay.
because they don't have that invincible blocker.
Yeah, they want
That's why they do that.
they want to move, and that's what a lot of the backwards motion is for there. Just make sure you're going at 45-degree angles. Okay, so now we're gonna go into exploiting bad stances and guards. So we're gonna show you guys certain bad stances or stances that people don't know have weakness. And we're gonna show you how to capitalize on that when you see it, and kind of like how you can like kind of study the situation. Okay, so a couple of bad stances. If I just go in right here, is let's say somebody's got this guard, they're not doing the A-frame, they've got this one. Sometimes you'll see the arm right there, right? They've got the chicken wing. A lot of people will do that. And it's, if I can show you right here, it's because they're holding their shield like this, as opposed to like this, okay? So now you don't see a chicken wing, now you see my arm, right? So there it is. So a lot of times, some high-level fighters will try to bait that, so they can kind of get you on that. But a lot of like mid-tier fighters usually won't know what's going on there. So we're just gonna real quick show how to exploit that. So let's say he's got a chicken wing, right?
Is my shield too big?
It's pretty big shield.
Here, I'll use that one.
Yeah. And I'll just use sword. You can drop the shield there. All right, you see the chicken wing, okay? So this, I would see this, and my first thought would be, okay, he might be trying to bait it, so he can pull his shield out and block it, and maybe snipe my arm. That's a common tactic there. So what I might want to do is, like what I mentioned earlier from DM's question, is maybe take a step this way to kind of pull his attention, and then get that right there. It could just be a chop if he moves too much, or it can be just a basic wrap shot. Easy. Likewise, if I want to swing for that, because I don't want to get my arm chopped off, I'm going to swing and hold my shield out as well. So here, let me pull it up, and I'll show you guys this from a couple different directions here. I'm going to take that swing to make sure he cannot get that counter snipe there. You know, maybe he was baiting me, but if he was, it's just back to a reset because I've got that block there. And maybe now he'll, because that's where that leads me, right? Maybe he'll want to go for my arm. Maybe he'll want to go for my arm over there. Yeah, maybe I'll get him with what he wants to do. I'll show you from a couple different angles here, so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about with this the sword and the shield. So instead of just a swing, no. So let's say we're going for the chicken wing over here. So give me the chicken wing. Let's say, he wants to counter that. No, we're doing something like that. So I'm throwing my shield out, and that also kind of reverts to the shield manipulation. If I really, really want that, and I see the chicken wing, so give me the chicken wing, I can shield manipulate so he can't pull his shield back over. All right. Boom. If I hold his shield in place, here, come this way. So keep going. If I hold his shield this way, chicken wing. Let's flip it around again. Shield manipulation, chicken wing. Because even if he is baiting it, right? He can't move this. That's there now. It also protects my arm. So that's kind of what we're looking at there, is a swing with the shield out at the same time. And you can just kind of pull it back in. Some other ones would be, let's say he's drooping his, let's say he's getting a little bit lazy, right? He's been fighting all day, and he starts to kind of like droop his shield down a little bit, right? That's easy. That's you don't just want to throw most of the time because he's ready for that, but you can just the 45-degree step and then stand upwards, bam, right there. Also back to shield manipulation, you can, if you see that, easy chops. You can even step into it, all kinds of stuff. What other bad stances? Oh, let's say I'm fighting a lefty. So he's going lefty on this one. Let me see if I can angle this down just a little bit for you guys. Sorry guys, working with an iPad, never used before. So I'm fighting a lefty, right? I'm not gonna wanna go right leg forward on this because that means point A is sword, point B, my leg, is right there. That's just a quick chop, right? So I'm gonna switch to my left leg forward so that if he does go for that leg, I have enough time, because all the weight's on the back foot, to get out of there, right? Now, what a lot of lefties will do is they'll get comfortable in their left leg forward mindset. And it's just a real quick, easy, bam. You can drop down, bam. You can take the 45-degree angle there. I wouldn't exactly call it a bad stance, but it can definitely be exploitable.
Hold their sword too high. That's another good one.
That's another one as well. If they're holding their sword too high, let me pick this up for everybody.
That's kind of an important basic for just for fighting lefties is that with right-handed, you really want that sword higher up.
Right.
And against left-handed, you want to protect against that hip.
Yeah, so I mean, another bad choice that the opponent might make is if they've got their sword way too high here. But let's show everybody what you're looking at here. He's got his sword way too high, and he's just gonna fall victim to the very easy. If I take the 45-degree step here, it's there. If I take the 45-degree step here, and he mirrors me, it's there. Easy. He's just turning into the shot there. Any other bad stances or guards you can think of?
There's a couple that actually involve the feet. A lot of new people tend to struggle with footwork.
Yeah. Okay.
They don't have enough
That's a good one.
background.
So yeah, a lot of new people will struggle with their footwork and their foot placement. If they're standing with their feet side by side, they're standing with their feet side by side, you can kind of exploit that with the angles because they don't know what the fuck they're going to do there. They can't. They've kind of got a nice 50-50 on both of their feet there, and getting out of from stance to stance is not going to be as quick as yours. They can cross their feet. Yeah, crossing the feet is a big one, but that one's more exploitable just by the easy 45-degree angles. They're never going to stand 40. They're never going to cross their legs and look right at you. So a question for you guys: what shot do you guys most die to on the battlefield? Like what gets you? Like what can we work on here and help you solidify your game a little bit? I'll give you guys 30 seconds to answer that. I'm gonna come up with something.
Hello.
Hey.
I personally die to being wrapped in the back. Normally the scorpion getting too close or something.
Okay. Okay, so the scorpion over the top here, right?
Especially if he's a shorter fighter, that's going to happen a lot.
One second. What's up, dude?
So I am 5'8".
Yeah, so it's the over the top scorpion deal. All right, so that I could see it happening if you like to kind of like run directly in. And I mean, tell me a little bit more about your fighting style. Like when you get scorpion wrap, what are you doing there?
I'm mostly fighting Rob.
Yeah, okay. Are you like running into his guard? Because I feel like you can't get scorpion wrap really no matter your size if you take the 45 and keep the distance against him. So if I step in here, obviously I'm not going to want a 45 directly into his shield. So that's an easy scorpion wrap. But if you can kind of, let's say, Rob's fighting style. Rob may want to like bounce around a little bit. We know Rob obviously. So if he's bouncing around, you can kind of do the smaller 45-degree angles to kind of get him off balance. You don't need to. Every 45-degree angle doesn't need to be for the kill. Not every step needs to go into a kill shot. It can be to kind of put your enemy into a comfortable position. So he's like, okay, so this is what DM's doing. This is what DM's doing. And then you switch it up on him at the very end, kind of bait him into something. And then get an extra deep one. There's a couple different things you can do there. Come in here, you can switch it up. Honestly, it's a lot of not getting directly in their grill and just making them feel comfortable that they're gonna get the kill on you, and they're just switching it up on them.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
So I just wanted to mention something. So I'm a tall fighter. And one of my main kill shots is the scorpion wrap. And the thing that I even get veterans with is it's a habit that pretty much everyone I've ever met will do. If I make eye contact with someone and I'll lower my body just a couple inches, almost every single time my opponent will mimic that. And so all I have to do is then stand up and I immediately have 4 inches of your shoulder and you're forced to react to that and I can get it almost every time.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of need to be aware of what you're giving your opponent, because if they're moving around a lot, if you duck ever, the people who throw that shot know to look for that shot.
It's kind of what we went into earlier is I could take a bad 45-degree step, but if I know my opponent's going to mirror me, I know that shot's going to land because they're putting themselves into a vulnerable position for that. So I think it falls on the person that's getting hit by the shot to not fall into that sort of pattern. to get your opponent out, if it's a big chess battle, you want to get them to fall into a pattern so that you can break that pattern. You want them to be comfortable. So on the defensive, don't always don't mirror your opponent. If you feel uncomfortable about something, 45 out of there. It's better to dodge than to block. You don't need to sit still, but don't always just think about, mirror them, play to them, like play to you. Just you may think that you're doing something amazing, but you're falling right into their trap. Like I was showing earlier, this shot isn't going to land, but if he likes to mirror me, it's going to land every time. Because he's going right into that shot. So just focus on keeping them in a comfortable place and catch them off guard.
Do you mind if I chime in on this one?
Yeah, chime in. Yeah.
I was going to say, because the big thing, if that's what's happening to you, is to just be aware that this person is drawing you out of the fundamental stance that you're in by trying to draw your shield or your height down.
I don't want him in his comfortable stance.
He's pulling you away from where you're comfortable and where you're defending.
Right, but like what you were saying is, you'll just kind of shift them down. Then my buddy Seamus will shift down, and then you stand up and get that kind of scorpion wrap, right? That's kind of one of the more popular ones. But yeah, that's just make them comfortable. You can never be comfortable. You back out if you need to, reset it. Never get against the scorpion wrap. Never mimic them, like make them have to mimic you, because they're trying to play to their strengths. I hope that answers your question. Do you have any more questions, DM?
Or anyone?
No, thank you for answering questions. Does anyone else have any questions?
Yeah. Anybody else have like a popular way that they die or they want to work on there?
In this room, I have a group of people who have never died.
Yeah. I mean, if I start talking and you guys have a question, feel free to type it in chat. Carps or someone, just let me know if you see something in chat. I don't know how to look at chat. I know somebody just posted something a second ago. I'm really bad at this kind of stuff.
Let's see, is it the top right?
Comment? Hello.
What's that?
Comment from Princess Lilith suggesting that body positioning should be a whole class. LOL, period. And
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so let's see what we're going to now. Okay, we're going to real quick go into baiting limbs, okay? This one isn't too crazy. I'll real quick show here. Yeah, I'll start with the shield. Screw it. I'll go into all different variations. So with the shield, like I was saying earlier, some veteran fighters may want to fake the chicken wing here to bait that limb to kind of get a counter on you. Some popular ones are if you've got your stance here, maybe they'll do this, right? So you can full on see that arm. It makes you really want that arm, and you're going to go for that arm. All I have to do at that point, if I see you go for that arm, just a quick pullback, and I strike. If I've only got one weapon, obviously, I'll pick up the shield real quick, and we'll go into various positions on this, so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. So let's say I want to make sure we get you guys in a good spot. So let's say I'm here, right? I pull that arm. Well, here, I put you over here. All right. So he is here. I can kind of like move here. So he sees the arm. Okay. He wants that arm. He may not even a high cross, just maybe a snap. He's got that snap, right? He's got it right there. Just a quick pull. Boom. He just opened up his entire body. So I'll get you on this angle so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. Okay. So now I pull. I kind of bait it. He wants that shot. Boom. I just have to block that entire spot. Look at it. I just need a boom. One snap. That's open. Look at what he's lowered by trying to get that baited spot. Because he's thinking in his mind, oh, sweet,
Free arm.
Right? And that's what I'm saying. You want to when you try to take a free arm or something like that, make sure you throw your shield out. A lot of people won't do that. So you're gonna, oh hey, free arm here. Swing at it, boom. I can go body. I can go here. Couple quick chops, or point A to point B, quick chop. So it's the block you kind of use I have no gloves, but you can use wherever you block from as a rotation point and just quick chop. Likewise, let's see.
I got another good bait for.
Yeah.
So you can kind of let your shield down just a little bit, kind of convince them that you are getting lazy.
Yeah. Maybe I think he's lazy. I want to get that, right? I want that shoulder.
Yeah. So when he does that, I'll literally just pull my shield up.
Yeah, that's the easy one.
Simple, straightforward to the.
That's what I'm saying. Make sure you've got that going right there. So you can get that block.
This is where the fundamentals kind of start to fit together.
Yeah, never do what they want you to do. Make them do what you want them to do. God, that's a tongue twister. Okay, yeah, the chicken wing. Talked about the chicken wing a lot. What are some other good baits that you guys have seen on the field that we can talk about here that you might be falling for, that you make people fall for? Throw it in the text. Yeah, what's
One
that?
that I've always ended up using, and it started just because I was bored. Unusual fighting styles. So there's a lot of people who everyone knows the A-frame or something.
Yeah.
But if I've walked up on newer fighters with my sword arm down, or a lot of vets will just walk up very casual.
Right.
I feel like when I approach newer fighters, they have no idea what to do because everything looks open.
It's a
And
mind game.
frame that
It's a
they're
mind
playing.
game too. You know, maybe they're thinking like, oh, this guy's so good, he doesn't even need to do this. No, it's a mind game. Like, don't get psyched out. Stay in your stance. Make him, like you can fake some shots. Make your opponent, like, you get him back in his position. Make him feel like, oh, he's threatened. You never actually have to throw a shot to make someone feel threatened. Just remember, don't get stagnant. You've got that backwards 45-degree angle you can do. Don't get stagnant with that. Don't just run in and you're like, okay, I'm here. Yes, let's do it. Yeah, okay. No, you can't. You can't. This is all about, we're not focusing combos at all in this class because you don't need a combo to win a fight. You can get in, boom. Oh, he blocked it? Well, I'm out. You don't need to stay there because you're there. That's how you start getting uncomfortable. That's how scorpion wraps get you. That's how all these master fighters are going to get you. They want you in there so they can, have their way with you.
Question
What's-
from the chat.
What's up?
Question in the chat was, what do you do against people who have large shields? Gaston, do you have a comment related to the last statement? Do you want to comment?
I do. So the movement at 45-degree angles was something that I really wish I would have learned much earlier on. Of course, picked it up since, but you did cover not overcommitting, which is the biggest thing, taking that lunge to get that wrap.
Yeah.
And I was warned against that, and I try to warn new people against that, but they don't always realize that that's what they're doing when they're getting that scorpion wrap, is they've taken that step and they can't retreat out of that in time.
Yeah.
If it doesn't land what they're throwing, then they've lost.
Yeah, people get hungry when they get in the air range. People get hungry to take something because they don't want to spend that effort and not back up without having taken something from the opponent. And you can't put yourself in that mindset. Chess matches, unless you're doing the 3-move, 4-move checkmate, they take a lot longer than that. You've got to kind of you got to soften the meat before you get the kill. I was there. Somebody posted something in the chat. I just want to check that out real quick.
So we have a question in the chat. The question is, what do you do against people who have large shields?
Oh, large shields. My large shield doesn't work because I've been practicing. Large shields. We were actually discussing this before we put this on. And this is here. What you can use this one. This one's a little bit larger. I'll show you guys real quick. It covers my fat body quite a bit, right? It's not like super large, but it's what we're working with right now.
Now it's sideways, it'll be that large.
This is a hard one because I want to give you an answer to this without showing you like non-basic shots, because there's plenty of ways around a large shield, but it's going to take some non-basic stuff to make it work. So one of my favorites is I like to get people kind of open themselves up and then just chomp on the inside. That's one of my more favorite ones, because people with a large shield, they get really comfortable. They'll kind of hold it out here. They'll leave their inside a little bit more unprotected because they've got so much going on out here. So if you can kind of bait them to keep that working over there, you can kind of open up their inside. Now the inside shot would still just be a chop, but you're pulling your elbow up as you throw that chop. So it's just going to kind of be like that. That's one of the better ones. Another one is the shield manipulation. The shield manipulation is one of the better ways to do it because you may have like a physically wide shield. So let's say, here, let me angle it so people can see. So you may have the physically wide shield, right? But his shield isn't gonna like, cover all this, like it's not gonna be up here. So you can still do things like shield manipulate. Oh shit, sorry guys, in my garage. You can still shield manipulate, get up here. You can force his shield to be smaller. You know, you can open him up, get these here. If you don't feel comfortable getting a one-shot kill or shield manipulating, I recommend just whittling them down. Take their leg, make them overcommit their arm, because if you can get them out from behind their turtle shell and they're not doing all this because they feel so safe, you get them to overcommit on something, back up. You know, I get him to overcommit, right? Back up. I can easily, you know, dodge, don't block, and then take what's open. It's just a matter of just just whittle them down, get them out of their turtle shell.
If they don't want to move, make them move.
I use a bigger shield in tournaments. I don't know how to fight against them as well. It's just I usually go for the one-shot kill, but just get the leg, depending on your situation, of course. Get the leg, make him bait his arm open, et cetera, et cetera. Any more questions on that, or like any ways that you guys die often? Just feel free to post it in the chat and we'll continue on and we'll get to that. Okay, so that was baiting limbs. Wait, was there any more? Shit, I'm getting all mixed up. Was there any more good baits you guys have that you use on people? That was another question. You got any more you think about? Any way to kind of like pull them in?
The one that I actually do like to think about is to bait the leg, especially because, like
Okay.
as somebody that
I'll show this real quick. Let me angle this for you guys. Yeah, he's a runner. Seamus likes to run.
people really like to target my leg, so I don't get.
And people really hate him. Okay, so he's leaving his leg out pretty open, right?
Yeah, I actually have like 90% of my weight on my back foot.
Yeah. So he's doing a lot more of what I was talking about. He's baiting that leg. So no, that's not there. Point A to point B. I feel confident in that shot. That's kind of let me angle it now so people can see what's happening there. I feel confident about that shot. I take that shot. It's gone. Look what's open here. Even if I pick up a shield, boom, it's gone.
I'm here, and
Bam. That's wide open right there because I just committed to that right there. And I ain't doing this. I mean, if I did that, I'm screwed.
back over to the scorpion.
I'm screwed. That's another good one is the leg one. I don't know why I forgot about that. That's like the most basic of the basic, but it's effective if you can get them to fall for it. You have some, but unsure. I can't see the whole thing. DM, you got me on that?
Yeah, so the chat reads, I have some, but unsure if I should share. I fight in a non-traditional style, but they are effective. Not
Okay.
sure if I should share in this lecture.
Oh, if you've got a couple, share them, and maybe I'm forgetting something, and I can kind of speak up as well.
So this kind of goes to the earlier where I was talking about how I often approach with a lowered sword.
Yeah.
I approach the lower sword knowing that my right side is open, so when someone tries to swing for it, I
Okay.
can block it.
Yeah,
But before that even occurs, if anyone doesn't change their fighting style, because they'll keep their A-frame, if my sword is down, especially with these little 12-ounce swords, you can flick your wrist and hit the bottom of their arm
The
without
upwards one, yeah. That's actually I see that more often than I want to admit. A lot of people have tried it, but they can't really get the power down. But I mean, you see, so you're saying you want them to swing before you throw that, right? Is that what you're saying? And you're blocking with your shield.
That is ideal
Okay.
because if I'm approaching someone, it's not as useful against veterans just because they will reposition their shielding. But against
I'll do
just
that.
your average fighter, when I walk up and I have my sword down, it looks like my entire right side is open.
Right.
So
right.
if they try to even twitch towards that, I immediately shift my shield right, and just flick the sword up, and you hit under their arm at like their forearm.
Yeah. For those, I'll do a little demo of that because I see this a lot. For those who aren't aware, so he's got his sword down, and you're gonna grip, and then let that kind of fling up at the same time. So he sees me, right? He goes for that arm or something. I can easily just, bam, he's going for that swing. I'm here to block it too, so it's not gonna get through. You know, he's like, what the hell's this guy? Bam, you know, right there. I mean, there's different ways you can do it, but if he's super open, you can kind of get in there. I mean, it can be hard to kind of get that grip. Low stab into shield side, soldier. Okay. Yeah, is that
popular?
a 10-minute time limit? Is that what that is?
Yes, you have 10 minutes.
Okay, so this will be the last question for this one. And then I think Gaston said something too, right?
Yeah, time limit, but just a low stab into shield side shoulder. It makes them drop their shield, even if they're well out of range.
Shield side, shoulder, like if you stab
Fake a low stab and flip it into the shoulder.
Probably here and then over to the shoulder.
Oh, into just the shot to the shoulder, not the stab to the shoulder. I see what you're saying. Okay, so bam. So I'm here, and I go, I'm going to fake that and pop up that way.
That's one of the things you pick on people, that they're picking on a fundamental mistake where they want you to pull your shield instead of try with your sword on that side thing.
I like that. What I've been doing, a variant of that, is I'll kind of fake here, go to the leg sweep, kind of pull around to either the shoulder or the wrap. So I kind of get, if I miss the shoulder, I get like a double limb. So it's a quick, kind of like that, or something to that extent. Though, I mean, it can be hard to get with a bigger shield and stuff.
That thing's very popular with Florentine fighters.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about fighting while limbed. And we've already kind of discussed the majority of this, so this should be a quick little segment. But let's say I've got my good arm, because that's what we all want, and my left arm's gone. This is going to be kind of like what I was talking about fighting a Florentine fighter. You're going to want use leg sweep, reverse. Okay. You talking leg sweep? Okay, I'll get to that in a bit. Sorry, it's just fighting and talking is pretty sweet. So I'm going to want to bait him right with those baits we were talking about, as well as combine with those back steps, those 45-degree steps, possibly away from his sword side, to kind of open him up. Same stuff we've been talking about for the past 30 minutes. It should be self-explanatory at this point. So I'm going to want him to go for that, right? Bam, I've got that. Maybe that's a little bit more tricky, but
Maybe commit to that leg one especially.
yeah. So if I make him commit to that leg one, easy. I can get the body. If I see that he's not ready to swing, I can kind of do what Princess was saying and take the low, make him kind of commit to that and get that. But you got to make sure that when you're limbed, you always come right back to guard after your shot. We're not doing combos here. It's make sure they're open. Don't swing unless they're open. Don't swing if they can hit you at the same time. You know, that's about it for that. Safely fighting against limbed opponents. So let's say you're going up against somebody who's a god, okay, unkillable, and they're limbed, right? You can use that. I'll be the.
You'll be the limb.
Actually, no, you be the limb.
Yeah, I'll be the limbed one. So do you want me to lose the arm or the leg?
Just lose your shield. Let's say Seamus is armed, right? But he's freaking amazing, right? I'm a newer guy. Shield kicks are still legal.
Difficult.
Yeah. So Seamus is a god. He's like unkillable, but he's armed, right? This is my chance. But I'm afraid that I'm going to maybe kill him and get killed at the same time, or he's going to get one of those sweet blocks on me and kind of pick me apart. So it's all about, like I said earlier, is get them into your rhythm and then break that pattern, right? It's all about breaking the pattern. So I may want to, get my shuffles going, be extra safe, make him think like he never knows when I'm going to actually swing, and then get him to commit when he thinks you're going to swing. So a lot of what I like to do, and I've done this a couple times, is take the safest shots possible. All right, that would be the leg. If you can get him to commit to his front leg, you can get the leg and the body, or take the arm when he's swinging. Very, very safe. Make sure you never get so close to him where he can get that. You've got to stay at your maximum range here, because he's going to probably want to back up and bait you in, like we were just talking about. He's going to want to bait you in, and then you can do maybe, let's say you've got a couple of steps here. These are your feet, right? You step, 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 right, and then step. So he thinks you're going to do another small step, kind of get him into a rhythm. So I can't get him here. I can't get him. I can't get him. All right, there it is. Things like that. Just set him into a pattern and then break the pattern. It's essentially how you want to get it without getting killed in the process. Is there any questions on what we were just discussing? If not, we will go into the last segment. Cool. All right, the last segment is going to be I am one person. So I'm one person if I'm fighting against two people. Now, I don't have two dummies. Everyone's upstairs, but we'll do it. So let's say I'm fighting two of them, and the 45-degree angle may not work as much. So we're going to be doing a lot more of the the side shuffles as opposed to the 45-degree ends. So what we're gonna wanna do is we're gonna wanna get, let's say, here, put the sword down real quick, 2 shields. All right, these are the 2 people I'm fighting. I'm fighting 2 shields, okay? I wanna make sure that only one of them can swing on me at a time. So I'm gonna be taking these wide stances. So I'm gonna be maybe swing out here. So I'm fighting this guy. Maybe I'll take another step. Obviously I'm in a garage, I can't do too much here. Or maybe this guy is falling back a little bit and I step into this guy and I take his leg 45-degree out. Very, very basic shots, very safe shots, kind of the same shots you would do against an armed opponent, until you can kind of whittle them down and then just take advantage of that, you know, have your way with them.
Always want to fight one at a time. You don't want to.
Yes, never be in a range of both of their shots. You don't want to stand straight in front of 2 of them and they can both swing on you. Make sure you are getting that range. And the last part we'll talk about is if we were the 2 and we were fighting one person, okay? So we'll be the 2 real quick. We'll just pick up a single blue and we'll show them. So if we're in a 2-on-1 against you guys, right? You're the 1, okay? And maybe we're newer fighters and we're up against like a legend, okay? I don't want to just run in and get a leg and then I get killed, you know, because he picked the leg and then he kills him, you know. So how are we gonna do this, right? So it's a lot of this is when mirroring is a little bit more okay. Not all the time, but you're gonna want to make sure you stay close enough. I like to do 40. We call it 45s. So we're both not facing the same direction, but we're kind of making him the focal point. So if he's the top of the triangle, we're like the sides and we're looking at him like this.
We're always close enough.
Yeah, and we're close enough to cover. So if, let's say, you guys took a step towards Seamus would back up, and I would step in a little bit. But we're gonna keep it small steps to make sure that, like, if he takes too big of a step, like that was a little too big, right? Now I just got the one-on-one with this legend. He's about to rip me a new one.
For a split second, that's all it takes.
And then just go for the easy shots. Maybe Seamus is gonna throw a shot to his shoulder, which opens up, you know, takes his mind off of that. Now it's opened up a leg. So it's a lot of just shifting, but making sure that you guys keep like a perfect distance away from each other, maybe 2 or 3 feet, and just mirror. So one person always has to be the focal point. So when your one opponent moves, only one of you guys should really be doing the movement around the other person. You know, because if we both do something, it just splits us up. So that is effectively the 2v1 there. Any questions about the curriculum? Because we are coming to a close. We maybe have a few more minutes.
You have no minutes.
Okay.
However, there is a channel in the Discord for after class chat.
Okay.
If you guys also have any questions for Steele or Seamus here, I'm sure you guys are available for questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just go ahead and send them a message via Facebook or whatever. That's Brandon Knight and Matthew Moore, Steele and Seamus.
Cool.
Right.
Thanks for attending, guys. Thanks for showing up.